Hi, it's Courtney Patrick here, a brand consultant and founder of Create and Propel. And if you haven't guessed it, today I'm going to talk to you about something festive. But before we get into the topic of today's video, I have a few questions for you. What if I told you you did not need to have an advertising budget over the Christmas period? Still not convinced? What if I told you that there was a way to maximize your customer lifetime value by over 1,000% and get over 70% of your customers to pay more for your offering without the need to blow up your resources, both financial and people, over this festive period? Guys, Christmas is known for its fantastic advertising campaigns, and especially for those of you out there that are selling a product or service that's relevant in this Christmas and holiday period, then of course, get out there and make sure people know about your product. However, in 2020 and in any year where we are in a global recession, there is a way to leverage the power of a great brand experience to, one, strengthen your existing customer relationships, but two, to maximize the power of your referral network. And so that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. If you do not have the budget or the resources to run a Christmas campaign, there is still a way that you can capitalize on Christmas. So stay tuned. This is the video for you. But even if you are running a Christmas campaign, I invite you to stay along and listen, because a great brand experience is going to give you a wealth of return in the new year. But before we get into the meat of the bones of today's video, I've got two requests for you. Number one, if you like this content, can you please reach down and give me that thumbs up? Just click that like button to let me know that you like this video and you want to hear more about it. But number two, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that's going to let you know when my latest videos drop. But it also lets me know who's engaging with this channel and who is enjoying all of the different types of content that I am pushing out. So if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button so I know to keep giving you more video resources on how you can propel your brand and your business forward. And one last thing before we get into it, guys, I have talked about on my previous videos my Monday Motivation email series, which is a free email that, you guessed it, goes out on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. GMT, which is London time. And that just gives you good news, uplifting stories, motivational quotes, anything that's going to help brighten your day. Guys, it's completely free to sign up, and so many of you have already done so, and it is a complete joy to send that out to you. So if you're interested in having some sunshine in your inbox on a Monday morning, you can go to www.createandpropel.com/propelyourmonday. And I hope to be sending you an email soon. So without further ado, let's get into it. Pardon the title, guys. I had to capture your attention. We're not going to be talking about Christmas marketing ideas in the sense of looking at a traditional campaign. Of course, we know that Christmas is known for its huge advertising campaigns, and for my friends that are in retail, or those of you that have a product or service that is relevant to your customers, specifically over a festive or holiday period, then I do highly recommend that you look at putting budget aside to be able to run a digital marketing campaign. I have heard so many different reports about the fact that there are less advertisers online. And so it's a great time to capitalize for those of you that are investing in advertising in that way, because you can seriously maximize your share of voice, which is what you want to make sure that you have a great return. So if that is something that you are interested in, this video is not going to cover it. I do recommend you checking out my video called How to Plan and Manage a Campaign on my channel. Or you can contact your local marketing expert, or get in contact with me if you don't have anybody to reach out to, because it's always best to leverage experts to maximize your return. So do look at that. This is not me saying that you shouldn't advertise online during the festive period. However, this video is inspired by everything that's happened in 2020. And so many business owners have had to focus on adapting instead of scaling their business. And the reality is you might not have extra cash to put put into marketing and sales over this period of time. However, that doesn't mean you need to completely shut your eyes to engaging your customers over the festive period. Christmas is an excellent time to build better connections. People are reflecting, they are looking for these brands to speak out and to deliver something that's going to lift their spirits, but of course, hopefully bring some value to them. And so this video is about capitalizing on your brand experience, creating an excellent reason to reinforce the value that your customers have in your brand, to reinforce their decision to choose you, and to get them to keep you front of mind for when they are looking at making purchases, both during the holiday period, but also down the line. Now, what I'm going to deliver to you today are some suggestions for where you can elevate your brand experience. However, before we begin, it's important that I let you know the starting point for mapping out this type of activity is looking at your brand. You guessed it, it has to be authentically you. And so there are two questions that I ask you. Number one, what do you value as a brand? What's important to you and your team and your business? And number two, what's your mission? Specifically, what is it that you're all trying to achieve and what is your driving purpose? Now, the reason why we need to start there is because your brand experience is driven by those two specific areas. So if there are things that you care about as a business or there's a purpose you're trying to achieve, every single bit of activity that you do should come back to those two specific areas. So you do need to make sure that you're thinking about how you can authentically bring those to life. And of course, with a festive twist, if that's what you're looking to do and if it makes sense, don't just drive the Christmas agenda in because that's what everyone's doing. If it has nothing to do with your business, your purpose, your mission, or your values, you can just keep it general and just focus on those two specific areas during this time without throwing Frosty the Snowman in there. So that is the starting point. Now, the first area that we're going to focus on, or how do you elevate your brand experience during the festive period, is going to be looking at customer appreciation tactics. Now, Christmas comes at a great time of year, or whichever holiday that you're celebrating during this festive time, so I want to make sure that we act as inclusive as possible, is that they all come toward the end of the year, or near about that time, which means you have 4 quarters worth of results, insights, and relationships to reflect and report back on. Now, I'm going to break this into 2 separate groups. One's going to be more mass market, all customer focused, and the other is going to be highly personalized. And so to start there, the first group that we're going to focus on is your high value clients and customers, whichever word you want to use to describe them. Now, these are the clients or customers that spend a significant amount of money with your business. They're usually your top spenders. Or for those of you that are in the B2B space, this may be the clients that have been with you for a long period of time. So you might not judge them specifically by the value that they spend with you, but if they've been with your organization for 20 years plus or whatever feels like a long term of service to you, you judge and you treat them as a high value customer because they are part of the reason that your business is ticking along. And so we're going to separate these out from some of the rest of the customers and connections in our database because our objective here is to recognize and reward the value that they play to our business and make sure that we maintain that relationship and, if possible, increase the amount of value that they deliver to our organization. Now, my first recommendation for you is to consider how you can recap your year together. Now, there are so many different ways that you can do that, and this is a great place to start and say, just sending a bog standard corporate Christmas card out to these people with not even a hand signature in it is not the way that you recap that value. You want to make sure that you personalize this message to them. You recap the successes that you've delivered. You recap great moments in your relationship over the year. You recap how they personally benefited your business and what you have done for them, but also what they have done for you. And this is a great way for you to get creative and let this customer know, I see the value you've delivered to me. I recognize the support you've given, and I am so grateful for everything that you've done to help my business, and I would like to continue your business moving forward. Of course, you can do this in an email. You can do this in a corporate Christmas card, include a handwritten note or message in there. But there are also so many tools in 2020 that you can absolutely take advantage of. You can do it by video. You can do it by animation. You can do it by a video of multiple team members recapping their experiences with that client or that customer over the past year. And of course, one thing that I always love is that you can commission an illustrator to create a bespoke illustration that maps out the year before. There are so many people that you can access for this, and I will put a quick example of what that might look like. And if you are interested in having some referrals to great illustrators, I'm always happy to point you in that direction. So number one, it's recapping that. And number two, it's looking at a personalized gift. So remember, these people have a significant value to your business. So you don't need to spend an arm and a leg to be able to reward them for that. But you do need to make sure that the gift reflects the individual that you're sending it to, because again, it's about signifying to that individual or that business, I value your business. I value the support that you've given. So again, no more just standard Christmas cards. Think about something that's unique to their relationship. And this is important because it's important you reach out to the team members that are engaging with that individual on a day-to-day basis. So it may be that you have a lunch or a dinner or something that's unique to your relationship. For my UK viewers out there, it may be a trip to your favorite pub. Perhaps it's the pub that you guys normally go to for a drink on a Friday, or whatever it is that feels unique to your relationship. But again, it can also be a gift. So if that person loves baking and you know that individual or that business and they have a specific interest, why not send them a gift that's relevant to that? This is about letting them know you are valued. This is part of my brand experience, is to reward and recognize that. And how great of a message does that send? Guys, the more that we individualize and tailor this experience for our high value clients, the more likely they are to stay. And the more likely you are to increase your customer lifetime value, which means a benefit for your bottom line, which is what we want to see. Now, the second group we're going to focus on are all customers. And this is more of a mass marketing tactic versus the individualized tactic that we'll give to some of our high value clients. And it's not that we don't value all of our clients. However, it's just making sure from a resource perspective that you're putting your time in the right place. And your objective for this particular group, which is pretty much every single one of your customers or connections in your existing databases, is to reward them for their decision to choose you and give them value, also keep front of mind and encourage further spending. So it's a bit of a win-win for you because the customer gets a reward for choosing to purchase from you in the past, but they also get an incentive to continue purchasing from you in the beginning. And just like the other customer group, my recommendation to you is not just to send an email or a post that says thank you for choosing to purchase from us. That is not going to do anything, and I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been on the receiving end of something like that and thought that is a waste of time and money to do that. Because of course I know you would like to say Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, but if I'm not going to get any value from that, then that's not going to make me any more excited or to think any more positively about your brand. So do not waste your time on an exercise in vain. The first thing that you need to consider is, what can I do to reward my customer? What will actually add value to them? It may be that you give them a discount on a future purchase. It may be that you give them a free gift with future purchase. Or for my B2B brands that are watching this video, it may be that you give them an office gift. So anything that actually delivers value and rewards the customer in a genuine way for choosing to purchase with you. And I know some of you are not interested in the discount offering. However, I need you to consider it from this angle. That customer may not have purchased with you as soon as they would if they had a discount. And this is about giving them a perceived reward because they have been your customer up until now. you will bear fruit from this exercise. So it's important that you consider what's relevant. Maybe a free gift, it may be an office gift. There are a lot of different ways that you can go about bringing this to life, but it's important that you start with, what do my customers actually consider value and actually consider to be a reward for choosing to be with me? But whilst you use that opportunity to send something out, that is where you include a personalized message from your brand. That's where you put your Merry Christmas and thank you for purchasing from me. But again, there are so many great creative ways that you can do this in 2020 outside of just giving some standard copy that sounds like what any brand could send. You can have a behind the scenes video from your team personally saying thank you. You can do this in so many different ways: illustration, video, animation, whatever it is. Just make it interesting. Think about the receiver. Think about how you can increase your brand experience by sending something that actually brings a smile to someone's face or makes them want to click or stay through to watch. So that is it for the 2 different groups on customer appreciation tactics. Again, think about your vision, think about your mission, think about your values, and make sure that your customer appreciation tactics feel relevant and authentic to your brand. Now, my second suggestion is to create virtual touch points or events. Unfortunately, if 2020 has done anything, it has made us feel a lot more physically separated from people. However, this is a great time for brands to react to that and to create opportunities to build a community and to start really good engaging conversations with their audiences. So if you are in the case where you can meet physically and you can do that in a safe and socially distanced way, then of course you can bring these to life. And whatever you do, whether it's a festive product launch or a quiz or networking, just make sure that it feels relevant to your brand experience and you're maximizing your opportunity to create conversation between people and to build a positive experience for your brand. However, for most of you, you're going to be focused on how you can build a virtual experience. And the key here is choosing something that your customers would actually want to go to. So if we rewind a bit to the first lockdown, where people around the world were leveraging Zoom to have quizzes, of course, that lost its steam very quickly because we did too much of the same thing. And it got to the point where people didn't actually want to join in on that anymore. So it's important that when we look at creating a virtual experience and we're going to put our time and resources into doing that, that we think about what our customers actually want to see. It's something exciting. It's something creative. It's not just what everyone else is doing. So for example, if you are a children's brand, you could do a nightly Facebook Live reading people's favorite holiday books. If you are a restaurant, you can do a Zoom cooking class to teach everyone how to create a twist on a classic festive dish. If you're a professional services firm, sure, you can have a Christmas pub quiz as long as that feels relevant to your brand and that's something that your customers will actually enjoy doing. Now, the key here is making sure that you put your time into it to gather that excitement. And the return that you want to get off the back of this is that you want to build your referral database, because the more that your customers are engaged with what you're doing and excited about joining in on that experience, the more they're going to share that to their networks. You want to create an Instagrammable experience so that people are talking about your brand in a really authentic and engaging way. So consider what sort of virtual touch points and events you can incorporate into this holiday period that get your brand at the front of people's minds, but also give them a way to connect and to have a conversation, not just with the people around them in their community, but also with your brand and your team. Put a face to your brand, and that is key to a great brand experience. Now, before I close this specific section off, this is also a good time to talk about thinking about your brand experience and all of those touch points on a wider scale. So whether it is your hold music or your email signatures or your social media iconography, whatever it might be, what can you do to put a festive twist to have an exciting brand experience during this time? Just think about all of the ways in which customers engage with your brand and try to put some thought into how you can elevate that and strengthen that experience for them, because the small details do make a huge impact. Now, my final suggestion to you, which is the most important out of anything that I could suggest, is to invest and reward your team. Guys, brand experience is driven by happy, engaged employees. And so no matter what marketing tactics you put into play over the festive period, if your team doesn't feel satisfied with their work, if they don't feel recognized and rewarded for being a part of your journey over this last year, then the customer experience is going to reflect and feel that. And so it's important that you take some time to recognize and reward the people that have been driving your business forward this entire year. We have been through a lot in 2020. And so it's important that we take some time to reflect as a business, to focus on the wins that have come as a result of our hard work, and also to think about what we can do to create a great experience for them at the end of the year. So many of you will not be able to have your Christmas parties. And so it's important that you think about the small details internally that you can do to engage your team. It might be that you guys have a quiz internally, if that's what your employees actually want to do. It may be that there are little gifts that arrive on everyone's desk or in their homes or wherever you're meeting. Whatever it is that reflects your values and your mission for your organization and is genuinely something that people will feel rewarded by. Again, whatever the equivalent internally of a company Christmas card is, do not do that for your team. Investing in them will bear a reward for your bottom line. A happy staff member is more productive, and they also go above and beyond to make sure that your customers are satisfied. And that's what you want, is to make sure that your customers feel that brand experience from the inside out. So do not forget to think about engaging your team, and it's time to get creative. Whatever it is that feels relevant to your brand, you need to invest that internally. Guys, I've tried to keep this video very short and sweet because you need to take some time internally to map out what feels relevant for your team. I've said it again and again. Start with your values and your mission and map out a plan of action that enables you to tackle that brand experience from both sides, both your internal and your external audiences, and get creative. Remember, you don't have to spend a lot of money to engage your customers over the holiday season. By investing your time in the people that are already spending with you or the people that are already in your database, you're going to have a more efficient strategy to increase your revenue in the next year. The time you put into generating more activity and more interest in the people that are already purchasing from you, the more purchases that are going to come in the new year. I appreciate you taking your time to watch this video. I hope that it has inspired you to think about how you can have a very cost-effective way of capitalizing on Christmas in your business. And as always, if you do have any questions, you can always reach out to me. It's info@createandpropel.com, or you can visit my site to see the rest of my blogs or check out the rest of my YouTube channel for some more helpful tips and tricks. Thanks again for watching.